FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And as you can see, we're looking at nzdypy. And what I wanted to do in this video is literally break down for you what a good trade looks like, so you have a better understanding of why it's a good trade and what exactly am I looking for every time that I look at the charts. What am I looking for to get into a good trade? What confirmations am I looking for? So in this video, that's what we're going to do. Let's jump right into it. We're looking at nzdypy on the 3-hour chart on the left, and on the right it is a 15-minute time frame. So first thing for me is whenever I take any trade, the directional bias has to be correct. So if I look on the 3-hour chart, I could see that we're coming off a brand new peak formation low, so I'm looking for buy options only. So with that being said, if we look on the right side and we're looking on a 15-minute chart now over here, the trade setup here is a type 3 setup. Okay, if you don't know what the setup we trade are, just go down to our playlist and you can get our strategy for free. Just check out the Trading with Market Makers playlist, or there's another playlist where we talk about the individual setups that we take on this channel. Check out those playlists. It'll answer all your questions for you specifically regarding the setups. But here is the setup itself. So this is a type 3 setup. Okay, and the actual play itself is right here. This section right there is the trade itself. So let's break this down further so we can understand why this is a good example for a good trade. What is the entry? What is the exit? Everything like that. So first things first is, since we're talking about a type 3 pattern, okay, the confirmations that I look for is number one, directional bias. Number two is it's got to come from the top or the bottom of the Asian range. So for example, this one here, as you can see, it's coming from the top of the Asian range down to the middle of the Asian range. Okay, and essentially that's one of my requirements, okay, for a type 3 setup. So in this case, since I'm looking for buys, I expect it to come from the top. All right, third thing I look for is going to be, I like to see a pattern develop when it hits the middle of the range. Okay, so in this case here, if we look, the pattern that we have is a railroad track. So basically, railroad track is two candles same size back to back, one being a short, another one being a buy. Okay, so this would be a railroad track. So that's a pattern that we look for specifically on type 3 setups. There are also star patterns and quarter woods that we look for as well, but we do have a pattern here on the type 3. Another thing that we look for is a pin of the 50. So the blue line here is the 50 EMA. Okay, on the most and best type 3 setups, you're always going to have price action that not only pins the middle of the Asian range, but also pins the 50 EMA as well. The most and best successful trades that are type 3s will have these two characteristics in them every single time, hands down. All right, so we have that. Now, another thing that we look for as well is, what does the TDI look like at the time? Because we want the TDI, the green line of the TDI, to be bouncing off the 50. And so here's the 50 mark right here, the dotted line, and you could see the green line is right there bouncing off that 50. Now, if we go back even further to right where the railroad track is, you can see how the line looks. Okay, it's right at the 50 there. All right, so this right here is the trade setup. Now, what's the entry on this particular trade setup? The entry for me is right after the railroad tracks. I'm looking for one of two scenarios. I'm either looking for a pullback to at least pull back half of the candle, so half of the blue candle, or if we don't get any pullback, then obviously that would be the trade setup. That would be the entry. Okay, so two scenarios, and again, it just depends on which scenario we get, but we anticipate either one. So here's one scenario. Okay, we're gonna take it 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio is always our goal. So that would be the trade setup. So if we don't get a right pullback right away on the next candle, then we just take it right there and then go 2-to-1. The risk on this is basically about 14 pips, and obviously the reward is about 27-28 pips. We're basically aiming right back up to the highs of London. Okay, that's the first scenario. Second scenario would be if you get a pullback. The pullback ideally would be mid candle. You'd still have the stop loss in the same place. So now instead of a 14 pip stop loss, you're looking at about 10 pip stop loss, and you can go 2-to-1 now, and you could see that your 2-to-1, you don't need to go all the way as high. Okay, so you're gaining 21 pips, you're risking 10 for 21, or 14 for 27. Either way, the most important thing is that you're getting 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so we have, again, let me repeat, the directional bias. We have the pattern itself, which is a type 3. I have a setup pattern, which is the railroad track. We have it pinning to the 50 EMA. We also have the TDI that's coming off the 50. So we have all those things lining up correctly for us. Okay, and as you can see, what ends up happening is obviously it starts to go in our favor. Now, very important thing that you see is on the next candle, you do get a pullback, a little tiny pullback right here. Right here, there is a tiny pullback. So in that pullback is where your entry is, where you enter the trade. Okay, so if you entered in a tiny on that pullback, it saves you about 2 pips or so, give or take. Okay, but anyway, so that's your entry, and then again, you're aiming for 2-to-1, and you could see price action just moving throughout the London session there. So essentially, by the 6:15 candle, your take profit gets hit on this 2-to-1. So that right there is a good example of what a type 3 pattern would look like. Why you would take it, what confirmations you're looking for, where the entry is, and most importantly, where the exit is. Okay, so I hope that you found this particular video valuable for you, brought you some value, and showed you just better insight as to what kind of things you are looking for, what confirmations, what price action behavior you're looking for when looking at a type 3 setup in this particular case. All right, guys, if you like this content, guys, give me a like on this particular video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Guys, if you need any more help or you like the content that we provide on this channel, come on over to the FXN Masterclass. It's available right now. What you get essentially is a lifetime membership, a full mentoring course, an advanced course. You get the Blue Summit videos, weekly Q&A sessions every Sunday, group session archives, which that by alone has about 100 hours of content, weekly analysis videos, midweek analysis videos, MT4 and MT5 indicators, a customized trading journal so you could actually journal your trades every day, and then a backtesting journal that you can use to backtest and collect all of your data. Not to mention a mentoring private chat, guys. So all the information is in the link in the description if you want to join now. We look forward to seeing you there, guys, and take care of yourselves.